What is up, my beautiful nerds? Welcome back to Podcasting What Nerdy. We're with the DatNerdADC and Brandon 2K.
What's up, geeks?
And boy, do we have a lot for you. We've missed you, so we're not going to hold you. We're going to serve you the whole buffet. We know you're hungry.
Eat it up.
So it's blowing up our Twitter. Our first story of the night, I want to share a little comic book knowledge with you, quote here, because knowing this knowledge will probably give you an idea. Let's talk about the future of RDJ's Doom. If you really want to know why in Liberia the flowers die in the summer, then you already know where to look. I think this is a very important quote. You're smiling right now because I'm cooking right now, right?
I'm really hoping it's that good. Because if I go any other direction, it's going to be interesting.
You're going to have to fact check me on some stuff because I may get names wrong.
You're fine.
There's a storyline, a more recent storyline, where Doom destroys like all variants of Molecule Man. I say you take out Molecule Man and put in Kang. So I think that's how they're going to write off Kang, is Doom kills all variants of Kang, and you tell this story by just making that switch. What say you?
I think they put way too many variants of Kang in the movie for them to be able to do that. I think that they were so ready to do the Kang thing that they set it up so well that it's going to have to be something just like that. I think he's going to have to figure out some form of snap to be able to do that.
Interesting you say snap, because I do see Doom as being their big bad. Like he is their next Thanos level threat. Doom is.
He's the only one left. They've done everything but Galactus, and I think they still technically kind of teased him. But here's the thing. Doom is the only big bad they have left to play right now. Especially if they want to bring in the Fantastic Four and the way they've just completely botched the previous iterations of Fantastic Four. I think that's why they went with the safe actors. They grabbed the guy from Bear. They grabbed Pedro Pascal, and then they grabbed the current hottie of the month for the Invisible Woman. And then Stranger Things. They grabbed everybody they could to bring as much attention to this movie to make it as good as possible. Back in the day, these actors were still kind of working their way up. They brought Jessica Alba in as the heartthrob, but that was kind of who she was at the time.
Those movies are terrible.
They're garbage. They even tried to do the same thing. So here's my fear is even when they did the movie with Michael B. Jordan and the kid from Footloose, I'm never going to remember his name because it's Miles Teller. They brought them in to do that movie, and literally their careers weren't established at that point. So what they're doing now is bringing established actors to bring some heavy hitting to this movie. They're going all in because that's fantastic. Fantastic Four is only bad that can possibly do what he needs to do in this universe right now is Dr. Doom. Galactus would be too big to bring in right now and destroy everything. What you need is someone methodical, someone who could be as crazy and like just bad as Kang. So Doom is their only play here. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah, and you need a multiverse villain, which Doom has proven to be. Yeah, so
the scale of the MCU is just too big for anything else.
I just think if they're smart, it's going to be a play, something along the lines of this storyline here.
You don't think they just completely ignore Kang and move on?
No. I think they use his exit to their advantage
by saying the strength of Doom.
And I get what you're saying with there's too many variants out there, but you could do a quick little montage that lasts like 2 minutes, even maybe not even that at the start of the movie, of a sequence of just like like a big bang happening, and you could take some old stock footage of Jonathan Majors like looking up, or you see what I'm saying? Like, but they could do something like that. It's been done before in other franchises. But I think you want to prove that basically, Kang wasn't shit. Doom is where it's at. You need to set that tone. And I think when I was looking and researching, and I found this storyline, and I found this quote, and to give credit, a couple other people after I saw this quote have also pointed this out. I think there's something here. Something to think about. You never know.
But from what we've gathered, guys, we're not getting infamous Iron Man. We're not getting Improbable Doom. We're getting Victor Von Doom, RDJ.
Yes. No variant.
It's no variant. We're getting straight up Victor Von Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, we dropped that last episode, so
We
go
did.
back and
So make sure you guys go back and look at that, because if you don't, you're behind again. But guys, that's what we do. We keep you guys up to date right here on that podcasting while nerdy. Right down there at the bottom, subscribe, hit the bell. That way you guys stay in the know, because if you don't, you're on the outs.
yeah, check out all those great interviews that we have. You can check them out. Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, all the above.
Hug.
You never know what you'll find. And who else recently said you never know was Halle Berry. She was asked about Storm in a recent interview, and she simply said, "You never know."
So here's the thing about Halle Berry. She should have popped up in Deadpool Wolverine.
She should have.
She should have popped up there. The buzz around Hollywood that I'm hearing is that there will be an X-Men movie, but Wolverine will not be a part of it, even though they are confident they have Hugh Jackman for future appearances as the Wolverine.
How do you do that?
That's the thing. The only way you pull that off, if we get the classic X-Men kind of back together, which we're not going to. We didn't get Famke. We didn't get James Marsden. I think, as we know it, the universe of Fox X-Men is dead. And I think that Deadpool and Wolverine proved it. I think the future moving forward, I think we'll either get the X-Men from Logan's timeline, or we'll get them from a new timeline where Logan either didn't exist or ended up dying early. And then like he gets to join them maybe. But I think they have to set that all up first before that happens. Now, does that mean Halle Berry could return as Storm in that aspect? %. It means anybody could come back. Or it also means they could go completely off the rails and completely recast and have no issues. I've also heard Kelsey Grammer is not coming back either. Yeah, it's been the Threadverse is where I've been getting a lot of information. I've had to like go and fact check them, but from what I can gather from the just insanity that's on Threads right now, that I could actually fact check and go back and see if there's an article, corroborating what they're saying. The only thing I see is for sure that he will be returning as Wolverine. He probably won't be appearing in the X-Men movies, which also means they could also go solos off that shoot as well. You know what I mean? Like everybody's talking about a Gambit movie, and then that spun off to people talking about a Gambit and Rogue movie. And then also we got the whole thing about everybody talking about X-Men First Class Storm meeting at Fox Universe Storm. So like there's a lot of possibilities on the table, guys. And what's really cool is that Deadpool and Wolverine open the door for everything. I even heard something else that we may end up bringing up at the end of this segment later. So, but yeah.
Potentially at Avengers 4 and Doomsday, you could have a lot of people show up. It's another big opportunity for a lot of cameos.
Yes, huge. And we're going to get a 3.5 hour movie, guys. Buckle up. We're going to get a 3.5 hour movie. I think they're going to push the bounds with these new ones. I don't know if they're going to quite get that long, but I think they're going to push the bounds, and we're going to see a lot of stuff. So just buckle up, guys. It's going to get wild.
Another person who recently had stuff to say was Elizabeth Olsen. She was asked about Scarlet Witch, and she said, "It's a character I love going back to when there's a way to use her well." She put the emphasis on well, and she kind of threw some shade at Marvel. And she said she's open to the future for Scarlet Witch if she's used well. So apparently she doesn't feel like she was used well in her last outing. And I would
why.
And I would pretty much agree with her.
I think we got you on tape agreeing with her.
Not only that, but I've never been a fan, at least in the movies, of Scarlet Witch. I've always she annoys the hell out of me in the movies, especially in the Multiverse of Madness. Go back, I ranted about that. But no, I'm with you, girl. I totally get it. But if Marvel offers you that payday, don't insult my intelligence. You're going to take it, regardless of what the script says. Don't give me that. It just depends. It don't depend on shit. Like,
I think they're going to need her, to be honest. We're talking about things being used well, and then I keep hearing rumors about Armor Wars being scrapped. Let me just go ahead and drop this little nugget from what I heard. We're getting a Supernatural saga, from what I hear, and the reason everything's kind of being pushed off for Mahershala's Blade is they're trying to make him the kind of the main character of a supernatural saga. Like even I think they're going to possibly side quest us and give us the Supernatural saga while they're trying to put everything together for the Avengers. And
They need to hurry up because this is the one instance where you could flip the coin and say, is Marvel copying DC? Because they're going down that route and they're going down that route fast. With Creature Commandos, they're talking about Justice League Dark on deck. Before Marvel gets their stuff out, I think it's unfair to not point it out.
yeah, I hear that. The one thing I would counterpoint it with, Justice League Dark's been done. I'm pretty sure they're going to let Peter Safran go off and do the animated stuff with and try to redo those. Those were great. I think with Agatha all along popping up and we find out that the quote unquote teen is a Maximoff apparently. So I think that if they're going to do it, you're right, they have to hurry, but I don't know if they're going to be able to if they want to get the Blade movie off the ground.
I don't think they're going to be able to, but I just say it'll be unfair to not point it out when it happens.
100%. When is Creature Commando supposed to drop? 2025?
Yeah, I want to say like Halloween next year.
Halloween next year, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it ends up being kind of a almost follow the leader with DC and trying to keep up. I hope that they can get their act together, but from what it sounds like, Blade's not coming out until late 2026, early 2027, just based on how many times they've delayed it already and how they're talking about stuff. But I think that Scarlet Witch I think in her current capacity, she couldn't be, she's planetary at this point, right? Would you say? Or she's multiversal with the Darkhold, right?
She is. And I mentioned this in the past, but my thing with Scarlet Witch is they're probably going to want to give her an arc of redemption. And they try to set that up at the end of Multiverse of Madness, but I don't think you can. I think at this point, there's no way you can make her adventure without the adventures looking stupid. And I don't care how of a goody Cap is, who's not even around anymore. But let's say like he is somehow, right? Like if you have somebody with Cap's, even somebody with Cap's morals, there's no way you're like, oh yeah, she did all that, but come back. You see what I'm saying? Like there's no
which is why
way.
I think the Supernatural arc would be the move, but I don't know with her power scaling the way they set it up that she was basically going to beat Thanos if she didn't make the artillery fire happen. So if she's able to beat Thanos, why can't she beat up a bunch of vampires or just zap a bunch of vampires? I don't see an opening for a Scarlet Witch to appear in ever again for a while.
And correction real fast, I was way off. Creature Commandos first episode drops December 5th of this year.
Yeah, then they're not gonna be able to peep. No, it's gonna flat out look yeah.
That's how I feel about Scarlet Witch. It's just that I feel there's no redemption arc here. There's not.
And there's no good usage at this point. If RDJ can come back as Doom, Liz Olsen can come back as whatever she wants.
Yeah, just not Scarlet.
Just not Scarlet. Unfortunate. Like, don't get me wrong. I liked her up until Multiverse of Madness. I think that arc kind of just ultimate superpowers or phenomenal cosmic powers. Itty bitty living space. And I think she wore out her welcome.
And it made no sense. And even when her justification, and when she tried to make the comparison between like, I do it and you freak out, but forgot who lost their shit before Scarlet did. But when somebody else does it and it's a guy, you don't freak out. They try to make that whole argument.
Make that comparison with Hulk?
I think so.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a faulty comparison. So
it is.
So DC is trying to make sure that you're good, that your expectations are set at, and Matt Reeves is one of those people who wants to make sure you're good. So he recently talked about the Penguin, and there's a lot of commotion out there about, are we going to get Batman in some form in the Penguin? Because they are in Gotham. He is the Penguin. And Matt Reeves said, I'd rather take the Band-Aid off right now. It's not happening. He's like, there will be no Batman in the Penguin. Robert Pattinson will not appear in the Penguin. And I expected this. I did not expect for him to. I didn't think Matt Reeves would say it. I think he would want to leave that there just in case for the people who want to watch it just in case. But no, he's flat out said it's not happening. He's like, in the story I'm telling, it makes no sense. There's no need for Batman. It's centered around the Penguin. It's centered around internal crime, not so much stuff that Batman would be involved in anyways, because it's not like they're out there like robbing banks and stuff like that. It's kind of the vibe I got. It's like more like a mob crime drama sort of thing. So doesn't surprise me. You'll get all the Battinson you want in Batman 2. Oh, it's fine. So, all right, is this a series that you're excited about? It's like pretty much, I think, comes out like what, like next week,
So,
and we're recording this on the 15th.
so here's the thing: the Penguin is one of those underutilized villains, and when he gets utilized, it's cartoonish, and they use Danny DeVito and yada yada yada, or they use someone who couldn't possibly ever actually be a Penguin type, like they did in Gotham. I'm ready to see the Justice. I'm also curious to see how the Joker fits into this, if he's part of that verse or not. I think the Joker. I don't think Gunn's come out flat out and said that Joker's out, right? Or has he said that's Elseworlds?
He has, as far as the Joker movie. Yeah, he said that's Elseworlds.
Okay, what about the Penguin?
Elseworlds.
He said that too. So what I'm curious about, if Robert Pattinson and it's Elseworld too, what I would like to see is if they would go and explore the dynamic of the villains of Gotham coming together, because that happens a lot. And I think it'd be interesting to see those two in the same dynamic, or in the same universe, just because Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor and this Joker's being compared to Heath Ledger's Joker. And then we also have Colin Farrell, who's a phenomenal actor and underrated in a lot of ways. He's done a lot of crap movies, guys, but he's done a lot of great movies too. So make sure you don't sleep on Colin Farrell. I'm excited for the simple fact of acting. I'm excited for the simple fact of something fresh, because we don't get to see like a serious take on the Penguin. So yeah, bring it on. I'm really excited to see what they do with it. I'm excited to see what he does with the role, and I'm also curious to see if there's any other interconnecting parts, like we are with any other, comic book movie or show or anything like that. So
I don't see any connection between Joker and Matt Reeves' stuff. This was simple fact that Matt Reeves kind of already set up his Joker with Barry Keoghan with the stinger at the end of Batman.
But is Matt Reeves' Batman part of Elseworld 2 now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my issue with your dang studio, with this whole new movie Elseworld crap. Don't get me wrong. I know Marvel's doesn't even flat out say it. But here's the thing. Is everything in Elseworld connected, or are there multiple, you know what I mean?
I believe there's multiple Elseworlds. I believe Matt Reeves is doing his thing. Todd Phillips is doing his thing with Joker. Matt Reeves is doing his thing with Batman, and they're just their own thing. So the Penguin is in Matt Reeves' Batman's universe.
So that's been established that he's under the Matt Reeves umbrella.
The Penguin, yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, Forgive me. Let me throw that whole thing out. I'm excited because it's going to be Colin Farrell on a fresh new take of something. I hope they end up using Colin Farrell as a villain for Batman, because he would be a very good villain, and also redeem his Bullseye.
For sure.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what he does with the role.
He killed it in Batman. I mean, I had to remind myself that was Colin Farrell when I watched.
Pounds of prosthetic makeup. Yeah,
I am super excited about
it. It's reviewing better than Batman.
That's funny.
Yeah, certified fresh. I am so sick of Rotten Tomatoes. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I think you read it on my face.
I really did. Tomatoes, potatoes. I don't care. Let me see. I'll judge it for myself. Thank you very much.
But before we move on to video game corner, I'm getting a little thirsty.
Me too.
I mixed my own today, and I have it in a cup. So excuse me for not being flashy today. But
you don't have your tumbler?
I don't. I'm washing it. What we're talking about is the locker room, guys. If you need some kick and you need something that you won't feel ashamed of drinking, and you're trying to cut the pop soda habit, hit up our friends at the locker room. Hit up Katie in McPherson, Kansas, and she will hook you up with some good nutritional drinks that's not filled with all those chemicals that are going to make you grow a third leg
or give you diabetes. Let's go with that, or give you give you issues. But anyway, guys, This is a healthy alternative. It's flavored in multiple different ways. Make sure you guys check Katie out at the Locker Room at McPherson. Katie, we love you. Thank you so much for our drinks. We are definitely hype, and it helps us be even more hype when we drink our teas. So make sure you hit her up.
Hit her up and let her know that the Podcasting on Earth sent you.
PBN. Anyway, that was terrible.
So what do we have today, man?
All right, guys. First and foremost, roll that beautiful bean footage.
That beautiful what?
Gotcha. Anyway, so if you guys haven't heard, Marvel vs. Capcom is officially on Steam, but you can't play it online yet, guys. You might be able to get lucky and sneak in a couple of games. Make sure you guys keep the updates automatic on that on your PCs because they're not on Xbox. Keep your updates on. That way they can give you the hot fixes when it's ready. The online is having severe issues, but the game is beautiful, guys. The computer, it scales. It looks great. It's the classic you love, and it's smooth like butter. I am really impressed with how they did it.
BTS.
So then, another cool thing coming out this upcoming next month in October, we have Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and Dragon Ball Daima. But the cool thing about Dragon Ball Daima is they're bringing back my girl Stephanie Nadoni. She is going to reprise her role as Kid Goku in Dragon Ball Daima, which is going to be absolutely nostalgic magic and masterpiece. I couldn't even say it. It was so big of a thing. I had to put two words together. It's going to be magnanimous, guys. Once those dubs come out, I'm really excited. But there is also an update to the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game. Dragon Ball Daima characters officially, Goku for sure, there will probably be others, will be available in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as unlockables. If you guys aren't planning on buying the $250 version of the game, I highly recommend the Battle Pass because not only is this game one of the best reviewed Dragon Ball FighterZ games ever to come out, the roster is the biggest in the last 20 years, guys. I think there was one other game like Mugen or something like that who had a bigger roster. But as a standalone Dragon Ball game, this is the roster you guys have been waiting for. Not just the, Z fighters, not just the Dragon Ball fighters, not just Dragon Ball Super, GT, Daima, and even some non-canon. I remember seeing a few non-canon characters in the thing. The screen is literally, just go look for the screenshots, guys. It's magnificent. We may include some in the video, but I will find that it is the most massive selection of fighters ever assembled, not just for a Dragon Ball game, but ever. It's a massive list, guys. So make sure you guys check it out. Comes out October, I believe, either the first or second week of October. So make sure you guys check it out. I'm really excited about it. But here's the thing that I saw that I freaked out about, and I was like, I'm really glad I don't collect old consoles and collect retro gaming consoles, because $50 million worth of retro games and consoles were seized in Italy, guys. They had been shipping for years. And they come through and they find literally $50 million worth of Nintendos, Ataris, and Segas in various states of, like there were some that were already stamped ready to get shipped. There were some that were in the boxing process. There were some that were getting their, you had regular Nintendos being gutted and inserted into a cheap plastic shell. They had literally Nintendo shells with junk parts inside. Guys, make sure you guys are buying your stuff from reputable sources. eBay is a good way to do it because of the certification process they go through, StockX and whatnot. But please don't buy any more fake consoles.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
And to clarify, this isn't like the HDMI consoles where you can get like the Super Nintendos that have like a list of everything. These are cartridge frauds, disc frauds, Dreamcast, like everything. It's to me, it's one of the most despicable things on the planet. Like, don't get me wrong, fake J's are one thing. Like, people want to pay less for your fake J's. You probably want to pay less for fake consoles. But the point of it is, when you take out the authenticity of nostalgia, it's no longer nostalgia. It's about making a buck.
Yeah. Don't mess with my consoles. Don't mess with that. Is crazy, man. Let's talk some wrestling.
I'm excited to talk about wrestling. I'm really excited to talk about wrestling.
There's a lot, especially a pay-per-view that we recently watched. Before we get
Victory Road?
Victory Road. Victory Road. Let's start with that. Let's start with our Victory Road thoughts. So, we were preparing for this episode, man. First of all, overall, the show was great. TNA doesn't miss lately, in my opinion. Mike Bailey versus Wentz was fire.
Surprise finish on that, but that was cool.
Surprise finish. Spoilers, by the way, but if you're watching this on the 15th, I hope you've been spoiled already.
Plus for having everything ready for us to just grab onto and watch right after they aired.
Exactly.
A lot of streaming services will wait and post the replay afterwards, but we were able to literally start from the beginning before it was even over. So big shout out to TNA Plus. Y'all have a pretty amazing platform for your product over there, guys.
So let's talk about just highlights. I want to Speedball and Wentz is itching toward number one for me as far as match of the night. That match was fire.
It would be number one if it wasn't for the main event for me.
Moose versus Nick Nemeth actually was very good. And actually,
I'm sorry, not the main event. It was the co-main event then.
Oh yeah. I kind of figured that's what you meant. Moose is actually improving a lot in my opinion from his initial entrance to TNA. I think he is decent in the ring at this point. I think Nick Nemeth carried the match, but I think Moose was able to showcase himself pretty well, unlike somebody else that we'll get to in a minute. So I would say the main event and Zachary Wentz versus Speedball were 1 and 2 for me. How about you?
I would say that the Joe Hendry Alexander match is number one for me.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Just for pure cinematics. Wentz and Speedball number 2, and then I would say the main event 3. No. Wentz, let's just jump right into the Wentz and Speedball talk. Guys, I don't know if you've been following along with the storyline with the NXT and TNA crossover. There's been a lot more than just Joe Hendry going over and getting accosted for the championships and stuff. I would tell you that the Speedball Mike Bailey Wentz match was very much an emotional roller coaster for Mr. Wentz. He had a lot going on between, the Wesley situation. But apparently Wesley took out Trey Miguel before he was supposed to appear on NXT.
Yeah.
Very cryptic post. We still don't technically know what happened, right?
No, behind the scenes we do. Trey had to have surgery. This kind of was planned for this to happen for a while, for that match not to happen, and for Wesley to get heat off of that. But yeah, storyline wise, we don't know much.
Gotcha. So, guys, Wentz brother, quote unquote, took out Trey Miguel, brother on brother betrayal. So he's dealing with all of that. He's already dealing with everything he's dealt with by having to face Wesley. And then he has to go and defend his X Division championship via the insane, talk about improvement, continual just stepping up of Speedball Mike Bailey. The man was on a tear when he had the championship. And then just there's Nick Nemeth, the fighting champion, and then there's Speedball Mike Bailey, the insane champion, trying to do everything to. And what it did was it kind of just established that championship for me. I feel like it was getting brought prestige by how Mike Bailey was defending it, and then obviously Wentz gets it in that Ultimate X, but then he has to defend it on that contractual rematch, and Speedball brought it to him. And Wentz was like, just give it to me. Beat me up. I need beat up today. It's kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah. And really showed really let Wentz show his intensity. And you could read it. Like, they did a very good job of Wentz did a really good job of storytelling about how this Wesley stuff is really getting to him.
Yep.
And how he's just over it. And I think he's going to blame Wesley for this loss, for losing the title, because he's like, you've all consumed me. And I see this being a long-term storytelling. I see this feud happening stretched out for a bit, which I'm happy for. Hopefully when Trey gets back, they actually have their shot at the NXT Tag Team titles. I would love to see them win it. I think that'd be cool. Very, very cool.
Yep.
Let's go on to Joe Hendry versus Josh Alexander. I refuse. And here's why. I no longer believe in Joe Hendry.
Ooh. Tell him.
So to me, this match, especially when you give him an opponent like Josh Alexander, I felt it was Joe Hendry's time to shine. It was Joe Hendry's time to prove to the naysayers that he's a lot more than just a catchphrase. He's a lot more than just a meme. He's a lot more than just a viral video. That he can be a main event player. He did not prove that to me in this match. Don't get me wrong. Joe Hendry is very entertaining. And we'll get into some things why here in a second, but like, he's very entertaining. So the match was entertaining, but I saw a lot of kinks in Joe Hendry's system as a wrestler, as a in-ring performer. As an entertainer, spot on. As an in-ring performer, there's some kinks here. I was telling Brandon when we were watching the match, this is coming from somebody, don't get me wrong, I'm very much a novice, but I know enough to get me by. I experienced some bumps before, so I know a little bit. And what Joe Hendry was doing in there is very much by the course wrestling that you learn pretty early on. People talk about John Cena's like 5 moves of doom, and I get John Cena only knew like 5 moves, which I believe is true. Hulk Hogan was another one that wasn't really a great wrestler, but I put Joe Hendry in that bucket. John Cena, Hulk Hogan, great entertainers. In my opinion, not that great wrestlers. Joe Hendry is in that same company. I think he can make it big in the industry by his entertainment value, but no one's ever going to be talking about his wrestling. Not after what we saw tonight, after what we saw at Victory Road. So Alexander carried this match in my opinion. He tried his best to make Joe Hendry look as great as he can, but Joe Hendry's not the full package by any means, in my opinion. And that's not a total diss, because there's people who are not the full package who go on to do great things in wrestling. John Cena,
he put him in the same bucket, guys. He's not dissing him.
But that's where I am. Am I totally off base? Where are you, man?
You're not wrong. Follow-away slam happened a couple of times. And then like big moments ended up just being like a bigger follow-away slam. This man created some cinema that night, though. I'm sorry. Like, you're right. The moveset, I believe you're right. I think in the bucket of John Cena and Hulk Hogan, I agree. Great entertainer. This man has been low blowed so many times by Josh Alexander in recent weeks. And spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert. Wearing a cup with his face on it, knowing it's going to happen, cinema. And then hits him with a freaking ankle lock. Right back at him, making him tap. After making him tap once with it, and the ref wasn't available. But like, say his name and he'll appear. Kick me in the ding dong. Here's a cup with my face on it. Eat it. And literally hearing the announcers, well, that's going to be worth a lot on eBay. Killed me. That was absolute cinema. I'm gonna hit this home for everybody. We're not saying Joe Hendry is a bad sports entertainment wrestler. We're saying that this man's bag of tricks is small in the ring, but this man has shown he's got a Santa's bag worth of freaking cinematic events that he's willing to put on. Calling him the walking wiener. The whole setup, like the whole setup was beautiful. As a complete rookie in the world of wrestling, watching it back in the day and a little bit nowadays, because my co-host has suggested it. Thank you very much, because TNA has now ruined my life. I'm watching it all the time. I'm watching highlights. I'm watching everything. This was a show, and O. Hendry stole that show with a cup.
He did. He was definitely people talk about Victory Road. I think they're going to talk about that moment and what happened toward the end of the main event. So we got another appearance by JBL.
Yep.
who wrecked house and kept the system from ruining things for the Wanted Man.
Yep.
And I'm very curious to see where this is going.
He also appeared in MLW last night.
He did. He did.
He's freaking everywhere, bro. What is he doing?
And so I feel like all this is connected somehow. And I'm interested to see where this is going. Is this like wrestling world domination? Is he like recruiting? Like, what's going on here? So
do I know something you don't know? Or do I have a theory that you don't have?
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm just being coy.
What's he look like right now? What's his walk around gear looking like right now? Like a sheriff, right? Like an old school Western sheriff, right? What do those old school sheriffs protect?
Law and order.
The law and order of wrestling. I think he's gonna be like a dang Walker Texas. He literally looks like Cordell Walker walking around with the hat and and it's brown.
No, hold on a minute. Let's put a little bit of breaks here. Dude ain't walking nowhere. That's barely a
walk. But if you look at a sheriff,
I follow your logic there, but like above that, what's going on? Because like they put a lot of emphasis on him whispering to Nemeth at Emergence, so that has to be going somewhere. What is that? It's like, what's the bigger story here?
But what did he do at Victory Road?
Protected the match, protected law and order, yeah.
Protected the sanctity of the match.
JBL, I've always been more opponent to the bad guys, and JBL is awesome. I love JBL. This whole new like Texas Ranger thing, as opposed to like like Wall Street, I'm better than you, dude. Is interesting, but I want to give honorable mention to Wendy Chu and Jordan Grace. They also killed it.
That was pretty wild.
That match was pretty nice, especially Wendy Chu, I thought.
Drastic improvement from Wendy Chu. Drastic improvement.
Spitfire versus Tasha Steele and Masha. I like that for the storytelling element mainly. I thought that was really good. The Spitfire needed to win, and they did, so that's good. TNA right now can't afford to lose knockouts. They're losing them already. If you guys didn't know, Giselle Shaw is gone.
Has been granted her release.
This is not a storyline for Steph DeLander. She actually is having surgery. She's gone. Kira Kelly is pregnant, so she's gone for a while. And there's just a lot of knockouts that they need to replace right now. So
where the heck was my girl, man? Where was my girl? I was looking for an appearance at Victory Road.
I think you get that this set of tapings that happens next couple of weeks.
I hope so.
There's been vignettes. Vignettes have been happening recently, and they don't, and on purpose, they're not doing a good job of hiding who it is. If you have any idea, familiar with wrestling at all, you know who's coming. Which is a big, it's a huge get for TNA. They recently, they have got Heather Reckless, who is an indie darling and has done some things on the indies. So they're adding to their roster. Love to see it.
This is somebody that WWE probably would have kept if they weren't so saturated.
Right.
Like it wasn't. I don't think it was a talent issue. Like it is a lot of the time with WWE doing releases and stuff like that. I don't think it's or even an age issue. This was oh my gosh, we have too many, so we got to get rid of somebody. Has to be you. Sorry.
We've met our quota.
Literally,
it's so messed up to say, but no. When you had the Oscars of the world already there,
Io Sky,
and they just found Gaia is now there.
Wendy Chu is NXT, but she's pulling the Sister Abigail transformation. Like what's her name? SH. What's her... Almost done.
Yeah, Nikki Cross. Yeah. But no, with so those are a little bit of hints of who's coming. If you didn't,
you're welcome. By the way,
but great get for them. So excited.
If you're watching our socials, I may have a reaction video to her first entrance. Who knows? Because I'm kind of in love with her.
She's amazing, man.
She does really good on my GM mode, man. She tears it up.
You do put a lot into her.
She puts a lot into it for me. I don't have to do anything. I just got to put her out there. She does the work. She's a great talent. We're gonna find
our next sponsor is Blue Chew. No, I'm
for the record, I don't think either of us has any issues in that department.
Not at all. But
anyways, hey, You know what? You know who is actually a sponsor that I just picked up my controller from?
Ooh,
we were not able
looking
to.
nice.
We were not able to do everything I wanted to do because the parts we got were not certifiable, which is another reason I love our boys over at Elite Electronics, because I ordered some parts. To see if they would work. And instead of slapping together haphazardly something that wouldn't last for me, they gave me a call and said, "Hey, Brandon, these parts aren't necessarily something that we are willing to stand behind, so we don't want to do the work." And I think that is fantastic customer service. We did get the sticks replaced because, I got meat hooks, guys. My thumbs, I had some stick drift. I busted the new sticks in it already. They went in, took care of me for it. I'm also getting on a call. We're going to work on my PC, get some stuff done. But anytime we have any issues with anything electronic wise, with our consoles, our PCs, our phones, anything, we go to the guys at Elite Electronics over on Hillside.
Speaking of issues, they're the main reason we're recording right now, man.
They are they are the main reason. They did hook you up and take care of some charging issues. But that'll be a thing in the past too.
Yeah, it will.
Our boys entering the vast and glorious world of PC, not only gaming, but video editing, getting a brand spanking new 4070 Super and some great RAM to process all these amazing videos for us. Our boy Adrian, thanks to iBuyPower for having a pretty easy builder for us to go through and put something together for him. Be on the lookout for even more content. We've been putting out stuff like crazy. Adrian's been cooking over there. But
I'm gonna be like a kid in a candy store here pretty soon, though.
Literally, you're gonna be. Oh my gosh, the amount of time and oh my gosh, this will be great. But cue the applause button for excited over here for sure.
With that said, I think you notice what we're doing right now.
Segue.
We're paying them bills.
Word.
So, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, if you need to quench your thirst and you're local, head over to McPherson, Kansas. Hit up Katie. Go see her at the locker room and get your drink on.
Well, I think she'll ship to you.
Yeah. Hit her up. She has a website, and she'll ship that to you no matter where you are. She's also, if you need a nutritionist, talk to her about that. And make sure you let her know that we sent you. Also, right next to Brandon, on top above him, next to StreamYard,
you got Electronics we just talked about. Big shout out to those guys again, getting us back up and running. If you guys have any issues with your phones or anything, consoles or anything, PC, anything, go to them. They have years of experience and lots of parts on hand to take care of things. So make sure you hit them up.
And also, we can't forget about the duck. I know I passed over him to talk about it again, but we respect the duck. And no, we're not talking about Affleck. We're talking about StreamYard. So our partners at StreamYard have allowed us a code that if you use our code in the description and sign up for StreamYard, the platform that we come to you on, you get $10 credit.
$10 credit? What? $10 off?
$10. And you'll be helping us out and you'll be helping yourself out. StreamYard is great. If you have any thoughts about multi-streaming, if you're a gamer, if you're a podcast, wherever you are, and you need to stream to multiple things at once and want a very simple way to do it, StreamYard's where it's at. If you want a very simple platform that's easy to understand for a guest, if you interview people like we do, StreamYard's where it's at. You send them a link, they come right in, no huss, no fuss. Brandon at one point was using Zoom, and he praises about how StreamYard takes some of the headaches that Zoom
put in. It's so much easier, guys. It is so much easier. You literally don't even have to worry about if they have Zoom downloaded. It's web-based. You just send them the link. We kind of used it again for some pretty cool interview that's coming out at the end of this month, didn't we?
We did. So at the end of the month, if you've been following our socials, you know all of it recently. But at the end of the month, on September 28th, the last Saturday of the month, we are dropping an interview with somebody that we were super happy to get.
Bro, I screamed when he replied. I screamed when he replied, guys. I screamed. I called Adrian. I said, You'll never guess who slid back into my DMs after I slid into his a couple of times.
And that was the legendary
The incomparable
David Nayakama. And if you're
huge fan.
into comic books, you know that name. So
Better get on it.
So we're looking forward to that at the end of the month, and that's only a taste, man. That's only a taste.
There's so much coming, guys.
So be sure to show that interview some love and let us know that you like things like that, because it takes some coordination to pull these things off. So if you want to see more of it, we need the signals, guys. We need to know that you're loving it. So we could
below. Give us. Hey, you know what? Give me a crazy idea for an interview, guys. Throw me some wild ideas. I feel like DMing some celebrities. I feel like DMing some interesting people to talk to. Give me a list. I got you guys. Make sure you guys are following. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the alerts popped up, because not only do we have stuff coming down the pipeline in the coming weeks, you got to remember, PC at DatNerdADC is coming down the pipeline. It's about to go down. Buckle up.
buckle up. Like always, you know what I have to say. I say it all the time, and I mean it.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What's this thing you say all the time?
Keep it nerdy, y'all.
Darn Skippy, that's what you say.
Love you guys.
Later, guys.